In this video, we will show you how to calculate the value of bonds. So bonds are long-term debt issued by a business or government unit and generally sold in $1,000 or $5,000 increments to a large number of individual investors. So bonds are categorized as either government or treasury bonds, corporate bonds, or municipal bonds. So let's look at a few definitions first before we try to calculate. So here we use the term par value, which is the stated face value of the bond. This is generally the amount borrowed and repaid at maturity. And again, this is the one that's often sold at $1,000 or $5,000 increments. The coupon rate is the stated interest rate on the bond. This is multiplied by par value to get the dollar coupon payment, and these are usually fixed. Maturity date is the date when the par value will be repaid to investors. So note that the effective maturity of a bond declines each year after issue. There's also new versus seasoned bonds. When a bond is issued, its coupon rate reflects current conditions. When conditions change, the values of outstanding bonds change. And lastly, the debt service requirements. Issuers are concerned with their total debt service payments, including both interest expense and repayment of principal. So many municipal bond issues are structured so that debt service requirements are roughly constant over time. Right? So to calculate for the present value of a bond, we will be looking at using this formula, which is C times F times 1 minus 1 plus R to the negative T divided by R plus F divided by 1 plus R to the power of T, where in this case here, C is equal to your coupon rate, F is your par value, R is the required rate of return or the market interest rate, and T is the maturity period. So using this formula, let's look at examples of how to calculate your bond. In this example here, we'll be looking at this question: what is the value of a 10% annual coupon, $1,000 par value bond with 20 years to maturity if the required rate of return on the bond is 15%? So we can calculate this using the formula above. Right? So C here stands for your 10% annual coupon rate. Your par value is $1,000, which is represented by F, multiplied by 1 minus 1 plus 0.15, which 0.15 is your required rate of return, 15%, raised to the negative 20, which is the number of years to maturity, 20 years. And the formula calls it to be negative, divided by 0.15, which is again is your required rate of return, plus 1,000, the par value, divided by 1 plus 0.15, the required rate of return. Now this time to the raised to 20, which is the years to maturity. This time it's not negative, it's positive. So calculating for this, we have 0.1 times 1,000 times, here it's 1 minus 1.5. 1 minus, we have to solve for this first, 1.15 to the negative 20, divided by 0.15 plus 1,000 plus 1.15 to the raised to the power of 20. When you calculate for all of this, for example, 1.15 to the negative 20 will result to minus 0.0611. And what else? 1.15 to the 20 will result to 61.1. 1,000 times this will result to 61.1. Right. So further calculations here will give you an answer of $687.03. Right. So that's how you can calculate. Another method, probably the easiest method, is to use calculator.net or any other online calculator. And when you're on that website, please enter according to this way, where you have the data here to the left, number of periods 20, interest rate of 15%, periodic payments of minus 100, and future value of $1,000. It's minus 100 because it's 10% coupon times your par value, which results to $100. So when you actually go to the website of calculator.net, this is what you will see, and you'll be looking for the finance calculators. And so enter the data. So it's 20 years. It's actually, I believe the interest rate here is 15% per year. And we enter the period agreement as minus 100. And your official value is minus 1,000. Calculate that. Gives us the same answer as our calculation. So once again, it's calculator.net, and we're looking at the finance calculator function. And entering the data here accordingly. What happens if you don't enter this as negative values? Take a look. That's all that will happen. If you forget to enter the negative values, you'll just end up with a present value of negative 687.03, which may mean that where negative cash outflow would be at the beginning. Depends on how you see this, but the amount would largely be the same. The final way you can calculate for the bond value will be using the PV function in Excel. Right, so in this way, you can calculate with that by putting in these values here with payment, the regular amount. The regular payment will be $100, which is 10% annual coupon times $1,000. You can enter FV, which will be the par value of $1,000. Your number of pay periods would be 20 years to maturity, and the required rate of return is 15%. So let's take a look at that. So on your spreadsheet, you can enter the data as follows. And remember, we're looking for your PV, present value. So using the PV function, let's enter the rate at 15%. The number of periods is 20. Your payment is $100, which is your coupon plus the par value, times par value. And your future value is $1,000, which gives us here. So largely the same answer. To demonstrate the correct cash outflow, I recommend putting that in as that. And this one should be which gives us the correct answers there.